What's up, everybody? So the price is pulling back pretty nicely. It's coming back correctively, which is pretty good. Seems to me like we got 5 waves. So we could see yesterday, right? We had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. So we had a 1, 2, 1, 2 off the low, right? And prior to that, this was our third wave, our fourth wave, and our fifth wave. We had divergence between our third and our fifth. We had a 1, 2, 1, 2 off the low. And then this beautiful thing came out of nowhere, right? Mr. Trump blasted the price up, right? And anytime you get a news event, a lot of times it's not really sustainable. So you're going to get big pullbacks, right? And it could even come all the way back down to here, right? It could come back down to 230. I was saying yesterday between 240 and 250. That would be a really good price. And right now we're at 245, so we're almost there. So we'll see if we can hold that 240, 250 area. Yeah, and see what happens. But if we look at the retrace, we could see that, yeah, look at that. The 618 or 50% was just crossed. So we crossed the 50%. Next one would be 235. So this is the area right here that we really would want to see it hold right in here. So that would, to me, would be a good area. Let's see if we can get there. All right, let's look at the small time frames. But first, let's look at the daily real quick. So the daily, we had a big push up, and then a lot of times you have a candle that comes all the way back and retest that big break candle 50%. So we just had the largest body candle we've ever printed since July 2023 when Judge Torres released the news XRP is not a security. That was this candle right here. And you can kind of see it came down in a similar fashion. Well, not really. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a big 5, right? So hopefully we don't get anything that aggressive, because that did end up breaking the low. But if I put a bars pattern here real quick, just to kind of see it for a minute, let's see what it looks like. Yeah, see that this took days and days and days, right? So it took a long time. I mean, if I go to the 4-hour chart and we go back and look at it real quick, you could see that first 4 hours was actually pretty good. We had a 3-way pullback, and then we had 3 up. Let's get 3 down, but obviously that did not happen. We started off with a 3-way move, but then it came up here, and then it just couldn't do it, and then it came down. So it was like a 1, 2, 1, 2 off the top, and then we continued down. So if we take it a lot smaller, like really small here, let's see what it would look like. So something like that. Now, I don't think we're going to get this. I mean, we could. And if we did, it would be kind of interesting because we would have that triple bullish divergence, right? So, but it would be kind of like a flash crash and then come back up quickly and then start going. But I just don't think so. I mean, that's kind of like the more bearish look to it. What's more applicable is essentially, kind of flagging out in here, right? So if you look at these examples here, from this chart. You could see, we came all the way back up to, this is XRP versus Bitcoin. You could see we come up, we kind of flag out, we come up, we kind of pull back here, come up, pull back, right? So you could see, here's the top. There's the top there. Here's the top there. So flagging out in here is definitely common. You can kind of see both in the screen there. So basically, yeah, let's flag out in here. Let's kind of consolidate and then start working our way back up. So there's going to be some chop. There's going to be some selling. I mean, today, we got some pretty big selling. Look at ADA's down 20% off the top. Let's take a look at ADA. And it doesn't even look too bad, right? It crashed 20%. But I look at it, as opportunity. I don't think it's finished yet. It kind of gives me the falling wedge look to it. So I wish this didn't take the top and this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be nice. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe we get 5. And then we start pushing higher. But for the most part, let's go back to XRP. I'm looking for an ABC. So since we have 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, now you want to see 3 waves up. And then most likely you would get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 back down. So you would get some kind of big ABC in here. And let's see if we could zoom out on that. Yeah, so we have A, B, and then C. And then continue. So yesterday, let's zoom in really, really much. We were looking at this as a 1, 2, 1, 2, and then here's wave 3, 4, and then 5. But to me, now it's potentially, because when we were looking here, let's go to the 5-minute chart. We had, go back up here, we had this 3-wave pullback, boom, boom, boom. So we wanted to see a 3-wave move and then a 5-wave move. But you could see what happened, right? You could see it started off pretty good, 3, 3, and then come down here like a flat, right? And then we would go up and finish for a wave 5. Obviously, that didn't happen, right? So that's kind of what I was thinking, and that did not occur because I wanted to see a 5th wave. But I didn't take into consideration that maybe that this could be another 1, 2, which is just even more bullish, right? Because you already have a 1, 2, 1, 2, right? So if this is another 1 and then an A, B, C, 2, you would have a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Then you would be going for that 3rd wave. It's still possible that it could be a 3rd. It's just too big now because you want it in the same degree as the other 1, 2s, right? So if this is 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, we could still go up and get 5. But since we had 5 waves down, we probably need an ABC, a more complex one. And then if that's the case, it'd be a little bit too big. And if that's the case, it would most likely be a 3rd 1, 2, which means that's even more bullish. So just keep that in mind. So if you look here, and we could see the top of the wave right there. And if you draw down, there's your downward resistance line. You could see we came right up to it. Let's see. It's a little bit subjective how you want to put it, but I like to try to get as many touch points as possible without going through the bodies of the candles. And you can see we also have a line here, right? Actually, let me draw that. You could see it pretty nicely. And you could see what the price did, right? It started off looking like it was going to crash, came back up, and then it gave you a second feeling that it was going to break below, right? This trend line here. But it was a liquidity grab. And then we had a three-way pullback. And look at that. We grabbed that liquidity. Then we came back up, right? So this is the market makers playing both sides of the ranges. They're taking money from the bears and the bulls, right? So that's how they do it. And you can see after they took the liquidity down here, then they took it all the way back up, and you could see this downward resistance line, right? So here's your supply, here's your demand line, your rising trend line, and here's your downward resistance line, your supply line, right? So the fact that the price broke above the supply line, grabbed that liquidity, then come right back into the apex of this wedge pattern. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. So now we're kind of at the apex here, and we're going to probably play around, but ultimately it should break back to the upside. Of course, we could come down like A, B, C and break it to the downside one more time, right, before going up. I mean, it's kind of one of those things you just got to wait and see. But could you characterize this as a wave one? It's a little bit challenging because there's not 5 waves. I mean, I really only have 3. So I really need 4 and 5. Unless this is going to give me a 3-wave move and we go up, then it could be a 1-2-1-2. So that's pretty much it. Take advantage of these opportunities because, Trump just announced, right? So what do you think is going to happen when it actually goes into effect? You know what I mean? Crypto is not for today. It's not for tomorrow. It's for your old self, right? So if you're 30 years old, think about your 40 years old self. If you're 40 years old, think about your 50-year-old self, right? Always be thinking 10 years ahead. So I'm 32. So when I'm 42, that's be 10 years from now. What am I thinking? Or where am I at? Right? And more importantly, where's the price of XRP in 10 years? It's going to be way, way, way higher. I mean, you gotta believe that. So whatever happens in here, ultimately, later on, we should be seeing very good prices. But other than that, let's scour around the market and let's start with Bitcoin here. So Bitcoin simply is the most bearish one of them all because it had a 3-wave move. So you had 3 waves up, right? This could be 3 waves down, and then maybe we get 5 waves up later. So kind of the most bearish looking chart. I mean, you do have a beautiful 3-way pullback. You have all of this resistance. You came up in 3 waves. You got rejected here, and now you're coming back down. So if we come back down in 3 and then go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then we could have a chance at getting back up here. So a lot of times it'll come back and revisit the low. So but in this case, it's coming right at the halfway mark. So, I mean, I think that's pretty good. I don't think we have to come all the way back down here unless I'm wrong and we have a complete reversal here, right? But I don't think so. I mean, if this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's a diag, and then a 3-way pullback. This could be a 1, this could be a 2, and then this could be a 1, and this could be a 2. This could be a 1, 2, 1, 2 off the top, which means you're going to get a violent 3rd wave crash and burn to the downside. And that's a real possibility, unfortunately. But that's why we have to hopefully we can kind of flag out in here. Let's look a little bit closer. Yeah, there's nothing here that tells me that the price is done dumping. I mean, it looks awful. I mean, it looks like a three-way move to the top. Um, you know, you kind of have this little inverse head and shoulders here, right? You broke out and now you're back testing it. So let's see if we can hold it, right? Let's see if we get like an A, a B, and then maybe like a reaccumulation in here. I mean, that's kind of what I'd want to see, but it doesn't mean that's what we're going to get. Let's look around. ADA, we looked at it. It's down 20%. Man, that's insane. Down 20%. I think this is a good opportunity right here. For dollar cost averaging, you know. So I don't know if it's finished yet. It doesn't look like it completely. Let's see. Yeah, I got 3 here. Or this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that whole thing is 3 waves. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here in the 5th. So I think I think we should be close, at least for a bounce, you know, at least for 3 waves up. So if we keep crashing and we keep, you know, because it's really hard to gauge the market after a news event. Something news related came out, the market reacted, and then it's kind of trying to find the fair balance of what's appropriate for the price, you know? So it's trying to average itself out based on all the bearishness we've had, all the bullishness we've had, right? It's trying to figure where does it belong. And sometimes it could be challenging, especially, you know, when we're seeing corrections like this. But I'm still looking at it kind of 3 waves in here. We don't want it to be too big, right? Because then it just seems like it was for nothing, you know? But we're still way up there. I mean, we started way down here and we blasted off and then we came down 20%. So 20% is a lot, you know? And we're still hanging up at the upper area of this move. You know, it's so you got the halfway mark, which is somewhere right there. And you got, you know, 618, 786, 886 down in here, right? So you're still kind of low, or you're still in a really good spot, you know, without having to come all the way. I mean, because if you draw a line here and we came all the way back down to retest this little zone, I mean, it's possible, unfortunately, you know. So let's see where we are on the fib level here. So we're not even at the 50 yet. I mean, okay, yeah, we are. Okay, so look at that. We perfectly bounced off the 50. That's good. But we could still go a little bit lower, maybe down here. So that's kind of the area I'm looking for. We're probably going to go down there. And then from there, maybe a retrace and then another wave down and then a continuation. I think we're going to be consolidating a little bit. So let's keep looking. No, so Litecoin didn't have a big move, right? So it's only down 12% as opposed to 20%. But still, I'm looking at this like A, B, and now it looks like we're coming down for a C here. So yeah, on the small time frames, it definitely is bearish. So one of the things we don't know here, right? So first of all, Litecoin's still very bullish, right? It's still very bullish. We got this run up, 3 down, 3 up, 3 back down. So you got a nice 3-way pullback. And then you had a 5-wave move off the top, off the low, right? And now you're flagging out, and then we should continue higher. I still think that. That's what I'm thinking here. So, but one of the things, the variations was, well, what if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 right there,
and then we had A, B, C. We had an expanded flat right there. Okay, and in that case, okay, then we have a 1 and then a 2, and then we should go up into a 3, 4, 5. Remember yesterday I said, well, this is a 1, but this is a triangle. Right? It looked like a triangle, so it didn't make sense. Wave 4s usually are triangles, you know, not a wave 2. So that's why I was thinking, well, this is probably A, and this is probably a B wave in here, right? So we could see a B wave like this, and then maybe a C wave or a X wave like that. But if it keeps coming down aggressively like this, 1, 2, 3, we would want to see 4 and then 5. And then that would mean we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third. So you have 5 waves in the third, so that's good. So then you come down A, and then you come up, here's a B, and then you come down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down for a C. So there you go. That's what I'm thinking here. Something like that. And basically that would be like an ABC down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then continue up. So how low could it go? I don't think it's got too much lower to go. I mean, you got a lot of support over here. I mean, you're in a range, right? So it's always difficult when you're in a range. Here's the top of the range, here's the bottom of the range, and it's working itself out. So the only thing we can do is count the waves and see exactly where we should pivot. But yeah, this line's pretty significant, right? You got this point here, there, all of this in here, right? You got that right there, and then especially this right here, this range there. Then you got another point there. So that's at 106, basically 107. So 107, and we're currently at 110 right now. Let's zoom in a little bit more. Yeah, and you can see we're still bleeding here. So we gotta wait. We gotta see. XLM. Yeah, so that's not what we wanted to see, right? We want to come up here. We want have a nice impulse, right? And then what do we want to do? We want to oscillate down. But we're not oscillating. We're just freaking impulsing, and that's the problem. So especially with XLM, I mean, it's just we had a nice 5-wave move, and then you want a 3-wave pullback, but you didn't get it. You're just coming right back down very fast. So to me, this is a pump and dump, right? We pumped up, and now we're dumping back down. But I don't think it's, I mean, it could still come back up in an A or a B, A, B, and a C like this, some kind of flag in here, right? So, but yeah. So yeah, we're basically dumping and dumping and dumping here. So there's no evidence that this thing is stopping. We want to see a crashing. I mean, it looks like a crash. We have a 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5, then 6, and then maybe 7. So looks pretty nasty. That's not what we want to see. We don't want to see that, But we did come back fast. So we're right in here, right in this level, and that would be the halfway mark, right? You have all of this support in here. So all of this right in here. And if we don't hold that, then, that's just something's up, right? So let's keep looking here. Monero. Yeah, it's very corrective down, then it kind of comes up. You could see how corrective it looks, and now it's impulsing. So not what we want to see. See, what you want is when you come up here, you want to come down slowly. You want to come down correctively, right? But when you come down fast, but Monero is known for coming down fast. I mean, look how fast this was. It just boom, and then boom, and then boom, right? So Let's see. What about H bar? H bar looks way better than XLM did. It's not so aggressive, right? So looks like we had maybe a diag 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, three-way pullback. And then you had this wave 3. Now it looks like we're getting a wave 4. Let's see if we get a wave 5 or an ABC and then get a wave 5. So it looks like we're getting a little bit of divergence here, maybe on the smaller time frames. So anyways, that'll do it for this video. I just wanted to come in with a quick little update there. What about theta? Did we look at theta yet? Let's see. So theta just looks bad. I mean, it doesn't look bad. It just looks trashy. Like, okay, we got 3 up. All right, so now what do you want? We want 3 down. So we need 3 down in order to get 5 up. Right? So that's kind of what I'm thinking here. I don't think when you're down at the lows, there's a lot of question marks. But you just got to have that conviction like, okay, this is the low here. We have the bullish divergence. We got everything we need. We got 5 waves. We got bullish divergence. We're back at support. So we have to believe that this is not going to break down. And it's kind of hard when you have a bearish engulfing daily candle that just completely overtook the bullish one. But I think it's just coming down to retest these lower levels. And we did go up in 3. Right? You could even say that this was 3. It was a flat. Okay? But I don't like that. I would rather see this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this is 3 waves up. And then we come down and we get 3 waves down. And then we kind of go up, back up. So, yeah, so we got 3 up. Let's get 3 down. And then let's get back up here. That's pretty much it. Let's see anything else. You could see Matic, same kind of thing. Very weak. 3 up. So, you know, this is the low. This is that liquidation low here. And we're basically just torturing and playing around here. Just, you know, so this is literally make it or break it. So we'll find out. I think we're going to make it, at least for the select altcoins that I have. XRP, I think, you know, ADA, those are the ones that were picked. So, still looks really good. You got a 3-way move down here on Chainlink. And it's got a better looking move off the low, right? You got this 3-way move off the low, and then you came all the way back. You're retesting it. So maybe we get 3 down, and then we go back up in 5. So anyways, I will catch you guys on the next one. Remember, not financial advice. And for XLM, you know, this could just be a 1-2 here, right? It could be a 1-2. I'm going to take advantage of these prices. I'm going to buy the dip. And if it doesn't work out and we go lower, then I'll just have to wait until we do go back up, you know, and that's just the way it goes. You have to have the belief that it will eventually go back up. It's not going to stay down forever. Remember, we're still very early with crypto. We don't have regulations. We barely just started with Trump. Bitcoin hit 100,000. So, yeah, let's see how it all plays out. And there should be a lot of things going on at the White House in regards to crypto. I heard somebody said they might do a speech included in the speech today, but I wouldn't hold my breath on anything like that. What we need to look for is purely technical. You know, we don't need to look for anything from Trump or that, right? Because basically people know that already, right? People understand that. So it's already baked into the cake. So any more news isn't really a surprise. I mean, yesterday was a big surprise, right? And we loved it. So now the cat's out of the bag, right? And it's over. So anything after that is kind of like, okay, so I still think I mean, look, if you look at XLM zoomed out, it looks beautiful. I mean, look how pretty that looks. You know, you got this very nice looking 1, 2. You got a beautiful wave 3, and then now you're flagging out for a wave 4. And wave 4s are very complicated. Just ask Bitcoin back over here. Look at Bitcoin. Look at this fourth wave. Remember when we were in this crap? It was like every single day we were talking about it. It was just nauseating how long and ridiculous it was. But, it is what it is, right? And we figured it out. 3 down, right? We got 3 back up, and then we had 5 down. So 3, 3, 5, right? And then we had a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then we came up. So this is a 4, and we should hopefully get 5. So we'll find out soon. But yeah, it's all about being patient in here. Because when you're right at the edge of the cliff, or when you're right at the edge of the horizon, I should say, and you're right, you're about to go, there's a lot of jitters, right? A lot of people preemptively want to go sooner than it really is. But a lot of times you get these flats in here that have to come back and revisit the low before you break out. So everybody here, all these people here, let's go, let's go, let's go. And I was one of them, being one of my ideas, but there was always a shadow in my mind thinking, well, what if that's a flat? And it looks like it is. So it's the long term the short term doesn't matter, right? Just because we get some short term whatever, it's all about the long term, right? We don't get rich short term, we get rich long term. And long term never has looked any better. I mean, we're sort of in this thing here, and we've broken out, right? And we have an impulse. We're flagging out in here. We're right back. We're right at the top, right? So there's a lot of resistance up in here. But eventually, we'll get going. And and if we don't, then we don't. But you have to believe we will. And I believe we will. So that's why my money is positioned the way it is. We just had the monthly candle close, right? So, we just started the new month. So it's going to be testing certain areas, certain different zones, right? Some people call them, I forgot the name. There's an indicator that people use. C line, or I can't remember. I'll let you know later on. But yeah, I think so far we're looking good. Let's take a look at Filecoin real quick, and then we'll wrap it up. So Filecoin just got obliterated. Look at that. On the small time frames. Okay, so it looks like we have 3 down, and then it looks like we have 3 up, and now it looks like maybe we're getting 5 down. Boom, 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 boom. And that whole thing would be 3, right? So we have 3 up, and this whole thing would be 3 down, and then we would go sideways maybe a little bit, and then go up in 5, hopefully 5, not 3. So we got work to do, but I think it's coming. I think it's coming. Ethereum just looks sickly. It just looks like it's just never going to stop. Until it doesn't, right? Until it does. So, yeah, you got this impulse to the downside, and you got a 3-way pullback, and now you're starting to impulse again. I don't know, man. I think Ethereum just doesn't. It's just not right. Something's wrong. I don't know what it is, but something's wrong with Ethereum. I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's you got 3 down, you got 3 up, and this should be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So the fifth should be very, very, very close to finishing, right? So we need 5 waves in that C. And I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then maybe we're getting 7 in here. So do we have 5 here? I don't really see 5. I mean, is that 5 right there? It's kind of hard to tell. I think so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe. But then you want to see 5 off the low, but we only have 3. So that means it's correcting down here. So yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see. Let's see, what's TIA doing? Okay, yeah, TIA looks like it's coming back. It's kind of in a channel here. All right, guys, that'll do it for this video. Hopefully things will turn back around very soon. We knew this was going to happen, right? We talked about this being a correction. So, and yesterday I said, hey, if we get a pullback, look out for 240 or 250 for XRP, and that's exactly what we're getting. And this is where we need to hold. We don't want to go below 230, right? So, anyways, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Yeah, it sucks. You get a big pump and then it wipes it all out the next day. But you know what? It's good because if you miss this whole run and it's like, okay, I'll have to wait for a pullback. Well, now's the opportunity. And I think a lot of people are going to take advantage because there was a lot of bullishness yesterday and a lot of people missed it because it was Sunday. They're not near their computers. Sunday pumps are very questionable. So if we had a pump like that in the middle of the week, it'd be maybe a little bit better. But I think now that we've tested these waters up here, I think, it's sparking some people to buy the lows in here. So the first step is to look for, it looks like we got 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we have, let's see, do we have 5 here? Yeah, it looks like we do. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And then do we have 5 in the fifth? I think so. It looks like it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, but then you got 3 here. So maybe 3 down to finish it with some divergence. It's really, when you're down to the 1 minute, it's very tricky. Very small time frames are very, very tricky. But I think the technical level would be 230. Between 230 and 235 would maybe be where we start to find some strong support. So, all right, I will catch you guys on the next one. Remember, nothing is financial advice, just my opinion. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Cheers.